Hey guys, welcome back to another day of 12 Days of Anime. For those who don't know what 12 Days of Anime is, pretty quickly, a lot of YouTubers have joined in with the help of BB's World, which is another YouTuber. She promotes this 12 Days of Anime, and a lot of us just kind of make videos either every day or every 3 days, or we do blogs, or we do tweets, or whatever. It depends what type of creator you are. It's basically how you create your 12 Days of Anime. I, as a YouTuber, am creating videos for you guys. So a lot of the questions that I get are similar. Most of the YouTube live streams, which is why I try not to do it so often now because then I run out of stuff to talk about, to be honest. But one of the questions that I've been asked, and I've never really gone into detail, is how did you get into manga? How did you start, collecting, or how does passion start in manga? And it's a pretty long story, so I'm going to try to shorten it as much as possible. It does include some of the personal stuff, and I won't include everything here, but you guys are free to ask more questions about the story itself in the comment section, so make sure you leave some comments on the story itself. I do appreciate those who are watching this. I know not everyone cares about my story, but there is those few that do, which is why I'm making this video for you guys. Before I continue, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe and punch that bell button. Also, make sure you check out my other videos in my channel, and I think that is all. Okay, so like I said in a previous 12 Days of Anime video, one of the first mangas that I ever read, and I've never owned it actually, it's called Full Moon, and it actually has a longer name. I just can't see the rest of the name, so I'll just call it Full Moon. And Full Moon, at least from what I remember, is about a girl who wants to be a good singer, but can't because she has some type of medical condition. I think her family that she lives with, I think it's her aunt or her grandma. It's not her actual parents. They're against it because they don't like music, and she wants to be a singer to be close to this one guy that she knew from youth. I believe that's what it is. It's a shoujo manga. The only reason I read that and was my first one was because I was introduced to manga by a girl in high school. Now, let's just name this girl Charlie. I don't know. I was thinking of the Disney show Charlie. I don't know why. But anyway, let's name her that. Now, this girl was a very nice person. She always was nice to people. I think people were off-putting to her at times because she was a daughter of a superintendent, I believe. Or assistant principal, one of those two. And because, she just wore a lot of dark clothes and read a lot. I mean, she was a bookworm. But me being another bookworm, it was easy to approach her, and we had conversations of a bunch of other stuff. But the one thing that we talked about that it's about today is the manga, and she introduced me to this one. I remember seeing her read these books over and over, and she just had different books almost every week. And I finally asked her, because at this point in my life, I was bored of all the books I had read already. I had read all the Harry Potter series, all the Aragon series. I had read most of the more popular books in high school. It was just, I was bored. So she introduced me to manga, and she said, well, check this one out. If you like it, I'll bring you the next volume. And that was, a new concept to me. What the heck is a volume? She told me how to read it. She's like, well, you don't read it like a normal book. You read it backwards. And she taught me all the things that I had to know, right? So for a while, she would bring me books, and I would just read them. And I really did generally enjoy them. She had a lot of books. She was a child that was raised with the opportunity to buy books. Her parents bought her books, and she would go to Barnes and Nobles quite often to get books. So that's really how it all started when it comes to reading. Then once I went to college, and I said this before in other videos, kind of the manga anime train kind of ended for me. I didn't watch a lot or read a lot. The few things that I read when I was in college was online. I never had a physical copy. Yeah, I just never read anything online, to be honest. So then go back a few more years, or go forward a few more years. I'm out of college. I'm in a new job in a new city. I'm all by myself. I was recently engaged when I moved. Before I moved, I asked my wife, my now wife, to marry me. She said yes, but it was going to be a long engagement. It was going to be a year and a half of engagement because she wanted to finish college. So I said, okay, I'll wait for you if you wait for me. And I came over here, and work life and college life are two different things. I hope you guys understand that. If you're going to college or you're in college, sometimes it's so hard because that was one of the issues that me and my wife went through, is that she still had a college mentality of stay up late, wake up late, and as well as, I do everything that I can during the day, and then I can talk to you like at midnight, and it wouldn't work for me because at midnight I wanted to go to sleep because I was waking up at 6 in the morning to go to work, to get ready to go to work. So it was hard. Not the point. The point is that I was alone. I didn't have not a lot of friends. I was in a new city. I was just learning to work adult life, and with my first check, I remember going to Barnes and Noble and thinking, man, I really love this store, but I've never had the opportunity to buy books. I wasn't raised in a very wealthy or even any amount of wealth family. Me and my family always were raised in low income, and we struggled. So books wasn't something that I bought. Books was something that I was gifted, or I bought for a quarter in garage sales. But I remember going to Barnes and Noble and buying some manga for the first time, and I really can't remember which one was the first one. I can't remember a series of it, and that is I'll have to remember it. But from those series, I started reading more, and I started watching more anime. I've talked about my first anime, that's Vampire Knight, and here's the volume, one of the last volumes actually. So that is another shoujo. I was so used to shoujo, so I just picked it up, read it, and that kind of introduced me to more darker stuff. And I said, man, I've really enjoyed scary movies. I've really enjoyed dark books that I've read before in high school. Why don't I look for something that's darker? And I remember looking for stuff, and one of the things that I found was Dead Man Wonderland. Dead Man Wonderland, great manga series, not the best anime, and that's because it's not completed. So, great series that I started reading, and if you haven't read it and you're into seinen or into gore, this is probably one of the best series that you can pick up. Pretty well done. Don't ask me how many volumes they are because I haven't finished collecting it, but there is quite a bit of volumes that you guys have to buy. And from there, it just started. I started venturing out. I started saying, okay, maybe I don't want to read so much dark stuff because I was alone, and your mind wanders sometimes. So well, maybe I want to read something that's dark but not too dark. And from those experimenting of buying stuff and watching stuff came Assassination Classroom, and there's another one that's one of my favorites. I believe this is the last volume of volume 21, and Assassination Classroom is a great series. I believe it has 2 seasons, or maybe just a really long first season, something like that. But great series. It is dark in itself, but the main genre is comedy. And that's how I got introduced into comedy anime and comedy manga. I up to that point, I hadn't really done any comedy unless it was, ecchi, and I would watch a few episodes and I'm like, this is not for me, so I will move on. But I got introduced to comedy where, there's still etchiness in Assassination Classroom, but it's not in your face. It's more about the joke and less about what you're watching. So great comedy that came out of there. But also, again, had its dark side, had its sad side, had a very dramatic side especially towards the end. But it was just a good overall series, which made me want to venture even further and further. Now, I've always come back to horror. Like I said, horror is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, genre of manga. I've reviewed stuff like Tokyo Game. Tokyo Game is another series that I really enjoyed. Some of you guys might remember that. For those who have been here for a while, you probably have remembered Tokyo Game. I reviewed the first, not the first, the only 3 volumes that they have, and it's a great series. It's very similar to King's Game, but I prefer Tokyo Game, to be honest. And then now currently I'm reviewing another type of horror. It's not completely horror; it's more suspense more than anything. But The Promised Neverland. So there's just a genre that I really liked. Opened up so many stuff for me, and now I'm reading stuff that I didn't think I would be reading. I'm trying to go back to my shoujo roots because heck, it's been a while since I've read a good shoujo story, and it could be that my likes and dislikes have changed, and my expectations for a manga have changed. So it could be that I'm just not a shoujo person anymore, but those are my roots. Proud to say those are my roots. Now, is that the preference genre that I would have gone with? Probably not. I had to watch anime before reading manga, but that's what the girl had. That's what she bought. So that's what she provided. She gave me that, and I remember her saying, "You don't want to read these because these are." There's a little bit too dark for you, and she didn't mean like scary dark. It was BL dark. Now, if you don't know what BL is, you can look it up. Just be warned that it is a little bit more of adult side. So, anyways, it was just that's what she had. So that's what I started reading was shoujo manga, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, I left out a lot of stuff there, a lot of empty holes in my story, but it's been years since I started reading it. I've talked about how I collect my manga in other videos, but if you want me to continue talking about that, I can make another video that's more recent for you guys, because, you know, as you get older, things do change. So let me know in the comment section below if you have any other questions about me and manga, and just, you know, what you want to know. Also, if you want to be part of my Discord, let me know. You can send me a DM. I know some of you guys have been asking for it. I have sent some already back on Twitter, and I'm helping those who are still confused on how to use Discord. I know it's a new thing for a lot of people, but for others, it's just a thing that they've always had. You know, I've always had it for a while too. I just never used it, so now I'm using it every day. So come chat with me every day and get to know me more at a personal level. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.